Hi everyone, Scott with Dearly Departed with a new video. Several years ago when I lived in England, I co-wrote a book about the Rocky Horror Show called Rocky Horror from Concept to Cult. When I was growing up in Detroit from about 1978, for several years, Rocky Horror was my social life, those midnight movies. And I just loved it, and I met some of my favorite people and still remain friends with some of the people from way back then. And when I lived in England, I got a chance to meet a lot of the people that were in the movie and a lot of the people that actually made the original stage play, The Rocky Horror Show, that was at the Royal Court Theatre, and weirdly, I ended up working there. But you'll hear more about that in just a moment. But this next video is about some of my Rocky Horror collection that I've saved through the years, and a little video trip through Oakley Court Hotel, which is the exterior and some of the interiors of the castle in the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and a lot of the old horror movies, Hammer horror films with Christopher Lee as Dracula, etc. So thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. I hope you enjoy my little time warp of the Rocky Horror Show. And a shout out to chiming in Sarah Weaver and Melanie Bonnell, our Patreons, my newest Patreons. Thank you for sponsoring the channel. The link is down below if anyone is interested in doing so. But I appreciate your support very much. And I hope you enjoy my little trip down memory lane. So I decided to bring out some of my collection of things that I acquired while I was writing the book. Where's the book? Here it is. Rocky Horror from Concept to Cult. My co-writer and I had a launch party. It was just before I left England, actually, and it was kind of cool because I was actually working at the Royal Court Theatre in London, where the movie premiered. When my book came out, and where is it? There it is. And it was pretty cool. It was very, it was a coincidence that I was working there at the time. I was just a bartender. And when the book was coming out, we were going to have a party, and I asked my boss, and they said, sure, why not? So we had the party in the basement of the Royal Court Theatre, where the actual show began in 1973, upstairs at the Royal Court Theatre. So there's a copy. This is just some of the stuff I have in my files. This is a bag of Royal Court matches that I've saved. Back when you could still smoke in bars and restaurants. Let's see, these are some of the buttons. You'll see some of the other ones at another time when, because I have more stuff at the shop. Before I pack it up, I'll document that too. But these are just some buttons I've had over the years. By the way, this is a shirt that I had made back in 1979 when I saw it for the 25th time. May 19th, 1979, my 25th Rocky Horror. So 78 is when I started seeing that movie, I guess. In Detroit at the old Punch and Judy Theater. So what else is in here? This is these are Kimmy's garters from the Kings Road production. So Kimmy Wong, or Kimmy Wong O'Brien, was Richard O'Brien's wife when he wrote the Rocky Horror Show, and she was around for the whole thing, really. And she was Magenta's understudy, and she gave me her garters, her suspenders. So they're wrapped in plastic there. Let's see, condom. I don't know when that was. When that was for the Rocky Horror condom. Here's a picture of Pat Quinn at the Rocky Horror Show at the London Royal Court. I think there's another one here. You're probably going to see a couple of these. There's Pat as well at the Royal Court. Pat, who was very kind to me. Here's Imogen Clare. Now Imogen was so cool. She was the Transylvanian with the opera glasses, and she and Perry Bedden met me, and I was interviewed. I interviewed the two of them together, and I met with Imogen a couple of times after that. And I was very sad to learn that Imogen passed away, and my friend Glenn sent me this memorial pamphlet from her funeral, I think. One of the first things I ever did in Rocky, when I was doing my research, I met Sadie, and we went to David Tagori's memorial service. That was March of '98 at St. Pancras Church. And David Tagori was the man, the choreographer rather, who was part of the. He did the Time Warp. I mean, it was he and Richard and Jim and Brian Thompson probably all together put it together. But I remember that funeral, and lots of nice people spoke, and they talked about Rocky quite often because, I mean, granted, he was extremely successful in film and as a choreographer, dancer, and so lots of people had nice things to say about him, and that was pretty interesting to be part of that, to see that. A note I got from Hugh Cecil, who was the man with the monocle, the bald guy, alopecia. And that's a thing I have of Gay Brown, her resume, and she was the one with the really bright red hair. Let's see. Richard invitation, dressed delightfully. This is, let's see, Oakley Court. That's Sadie. Oh, there's Sadie. That's a great picture of Sadie. Here's Sadie dancing with, no, she's not. That's Rufus, that's Lindsay, that's Stephen Calcutt, Pam Obermeyer, there's Kimmy and Perry. Getting to know these guys was really something. Here's Pam Obermeyer again. She went by Bethany Brown. She was the Transylvania that had the pirate hat on. Lindsay Ingram, she was the one with the giant hair. More stuff. 40th anniversary production. These are the two models that I have. You'll see those later on. This is the Frank's bedroom and the church, the Denton Church. I have those actual models that Brian Thompson built. These are, let's see, there's Barry. Oh, these are the ones from the Pantages Theater. Back, they did I think the 25th at the Pantages in Hollywood, and that was the first time I saw these people in person, Pat and Richard, and I think that was it. No, I got that wrong. It's one of those reunions. Let's see what else is going on here. This is postcard, Transylvania 99. Oakley Court. Okay, you're going to see this in a little bit, because the video that's attached to this is actually the interiors of the castle. And the castle is where they filmed Rocky Horror Picture Show. The exteriors and some of the interiors as well. These items were given to me by a very nice person by the name of Lisa Sample. And she sent me a whole bunch of stuff from Oakley Court as souvenirs. So, and surprisingly, the hotel's really, really receptive to visitors, Rocky visitors. So yeah, Oakley Court. And Lisa, thank you very much for that. Gosh, what is all this stuff? The Talented Mr. Ripley. That was a play I saw Patricia Quinn in. Pat. Hello, Scott. This is Pat. There's Gay Brown and Annabelle Levinton. And this is just fan club stuff. Let me put this stuff out of the way here. Transylvania 99. I gotta tell you a story about that thing. That London Rocky Horror Club, British Rocky Horror. So when I started doing the research for this book, I got in touch with a lot of the Transylvanians, and some of them, Stephen Calcutt and Pam Obermeyer, they were people that had not been tapped before. Tapped is not quite the word I want to use, but hadn't done any presentations before. They haven't even been found before. And I decided to introduce them to some people who are running that convention. And I thought, what a great opportunity for these people to meet their fans, after so many years, and to actually be able to meet them. And so all these people were brought over to that convention, and they wouldn't let me fucking in. Or I had to buy a ticket. They wouldn't let me backstage. And the whole, I mean, I just thought that was shitty. But people, there's Stephen, very nice Stephen Calcutt, Gay and Annabelle again. These Transylvanians were such nice people, and they were kind to me, and they agreed to show up to their event, and I had to buy a ticket. Okay, I was going to buy a ticket, whatever. But then they wouldn't let me go backstage and photograph the people I got. I just, oh, fuck you, I was way over these people. People get so possessive about this stuff, and I understand being protective of it, but downright being dicky about it. I mean, it was just like so shitty. And yeah, whatever. There's a Christmas card I got from Christopher Biggins and his boyfriend. Maybe they're married by now, I don't know. And I had a ton of, this is all correspondence from Sadie and I, Sadie the little Transylvanian. You guys probably know that we're pretty close. So this was the Pantages Theater, actually. Isn't it funny? Just yesterday they took down that giant Pantages sign. So there's one of those things from the that Transylvania 99. I save everything, clearly. Pam Obermeyer, Stephen Calcutt. I don't think, maybe I hooked Perry up with him, I don't know. Perry's a buddy too. God, that left me. Anyway, see, there's the interiors of Oakley Court. I'm going to show you that video shortly in just a moment. That's going to be attached to the end of this. But I don't know. This is probably it. I've got a lot of correspondence. Who's Stephen Calcutt, Lindsay. Nice people, and oh, this is kind of cool. This is the auction house, a prop house by Ken Paul Props, and this is when they were auctioning off the clock. And actually, I was able to go and visit the clock and take some pictures of it, and that was pretty neat. They let me. They were really nice people. Again, everyone was so nice and so receptive. Maybe it was because the internet hadn't happened yet, and they were not exhausted by everybody wanting things from them. I don't know, but everyone was so nice. More Jason Donovan as Frank. This is all. Wow, God, I saved so much junk. Not junk. To me, it's something that's important. I think I'm gonna be done with all of these things. I'll show you. I'll show you the video of the. Boy, oh boy, oh boy! There's so much junk. Christopher Biggins as Mother Goose doing Panto. Oh, this was a show I saw with Imogen Clare, who I mentioned earlier was the Transylvanian with the opera glasses, and she was in this play with a guy from The Hobbit. I forget his name, but he was the guy from The Hobbit, and he's still around. I forget his name, but he's become really, really famous. More Sadie, Lindsay. Lindsay sent me a 4-leaf clover from her backyard, which was nice. I never opened that. More Lindsay. Right, so I guess I'll stop this and God, look at all this junk. I keep it a lot nicer than it looks. I do. I'll straighten. Oh, there it is again. Transylvania 99. These people can. Anyway, fuck them. Pezza. Rainer. Sue was nice. Stephen was nice. Certificate of attendance. Yay. Oh, Lindsay was supposed to be there. I hooked him up with her too, but she canceled. She had to cancel. Yasmin, she was there. I think I hooked her up with Yasmin too. I really do, but and I don't like to take credit for stuff I didn't do, but I don't think I do, and I'm sure I did get those people for them. All right, so I think I'm going to stop this. I'm going to show you the Rocky Horror Hotel. That's going to be tacked onto this. This is a collage that was made for me by Jonathan Adams, who played Dr. Scott. And it was made in '97, as you can see down here. He signed it. When I went to visit him, interview him at his home, it was right next to the cemetery. I forget what he called his home, Tomb View. But you could see the detail. It's really quite fine the paper that he used for this. And of course, there's the lips and the muscle man, which is perfect for the Rocky thing that I love. Here are some photographs I have, some correspondence. That's from Pat Quinn. That's from Hugh Cecil, who was, let's see, there's Mr. Cecil, that guy. Here's something from Fran Fullenwider, who is that one. Of course, here's little Sadie. There's Sadie. And here's Perry, who became a friend. Jonathan Adams again. There he is. Of course, there's Nell. Peter. Imogen. She was so cool. Very, very funny lady. And this is kind of rare, I think. This is a photograph, a promo photograph from Fox, and it's autographed by Pat, those are not her lips, actually. Pat sang lip sync to Richard's voice at the beginning of the movie. But here's, but she signed this. So did Peter Hinwood. So did Nell Campbell. So did Perry Bedden. So did Lorelei, whose lips these actually are. I have an interview that I'll tack onto this one I did with Lorelei, who's a pretty fascinating lady. Sadie again, Dr. Scott, and Barry. And there's my autograph collection. Here we are at Oakley Court in Windsor, where the Rocky Horror Picture Show was filmed in 1975, or 74. Fucking noisy fucking gardeners too. Where Peter Hinwood was running, being chased by the dogs. I think that's Riff Raff's window.